and welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with JP8 Report coming to you today. This is episode 55, Positive ID. So thank y'all for tuning in. Just a friendly reminder, if you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed, please do so, okay? Keep it short and sweet, to the point. I'm on Rumble, Podbean, YouTube. Subscribe, share it out, okay? Thank y'all very much for tuning in. So, we got a couple different subjects we're going to cover. Like I said, this one's going to be called Positive ID. This is in relationship to a press conference that came out yesterday from DOD and General McKenzie. He's a Marine general. He's a CENTCOM commander at Fort McDill Air Force Base in Tampa Bay, Florida. Usually, if you didn't know, CENTCOM splits up leadership roles. Like right now, it's a Marine general. Next time it'll be an Army general, then a Marine general, Army general, Marine general. They just swap places, okay? Their CENTCOM, their area of responsibility is from the Near East or Middle East all the way over to Afghanistan and maybe Pakistan. I think Pakistan, okay? So yesterday they were talking about the Reaper drone strike that happened at the end of August in Kabul, where they reported to us there was a righteous kill at a Reaper drone that struck and killed an ISIS-K target about to blow their car up in near the airport and try to take out more U.S. servicemen. So then the word leaked out. There was nothing but civilians in there. And I'm not here to second guess to the guy that pulled the trigger because he was told to pull the trigger. But after listening to that briefing, and I'm glad General McKenzie took responsibility because he is the overall commander in that theater of operations. Okay, you got General Miller that was in Kabul, but then you had General McKenzie back in either he was in Doha or he was what do you call that place? Florida, CENTCOM Command, okay? So they had hard evidence that there was going to be a terrorist act, a VBID, a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, was going to be detonated on U.S. forces or U.S. friendlies near the airport, okay? And that it was a white Toyota Corolla. So the way General McKenzie briefed it was this white Toyota Corolla was driving around the airport, the whole perimeter of the airport all day. They followed it for 8 hours. It made several stops. They took bags out here, put bags in here. They picked up people. They dropped off people. They put containers in and took containers out, put more in, and they did this all day long. Okay, and the whole time there was hard evidence that they were the vehicle that was going to be detonated on U.S. forces or U.S. friendlies. Okay, so the reason why I named this Positive ID was most people that watch this that know me know I'm a combat veteran. Okay? So there was, I was in Baghdad. I was in Sadr City, matter of fact, for 12 months. You can ask anyone. People challenge that sometimes. There's no way you were in Sadr City. Dude, I know where Pluto is. I know where Route Florida is. I know where Route Gold is, Route Charlie, Route Eros. Okay, I've been on all those. Okay, so challenge me if you want. Stick me. Try me. I can verify everything. Okay, there's a Facebook friend of mine. He watches this sometimes. His name is Jimmy Johnson. Ask him. Okay, but when you are downrange, you're getting rules of engagement. Okay, and you can tell the rules of engagement were different under President Bush and President Obama, because my second combat deployment, my first one was under the first President Bush. My second one to OIF was under the second President Bush, George W. Bush. And my third combat deployment to Afghanistan was under President Obama. Okay. I had more outside the wire time when I was in Iraq than I was in Afghanistan. I only left like three, 4 times in my second one. My first, and the one I was in Iraq, I was all the time. Okay. So you're giving these rules of engagement. Okay. So it's, matter of fact, okay, you have classified and you have unclassified rules of engagement. If you didn't know, there are 2 types. One you don't talk about, and one is public. Okay, and basically it's like warn, shoot. Okay, but anytime you go through those unclass rules of engagement, you must always have positive ID. Always. You have to have you can't shoot through a wall and hit someone because you think they're an assailant, they're an enemy. You can't, because you have to have positive ID when you squeeze the trigger. Okay? That being said, I know I've told this story before. Okay? But when I was in Iraq, we were going to get our MRAPs in May of 2008. And we got hit on route predators going down toward Loyalty from Fob Hope. Okay, and this young man got killed, and they popped 2 EFPs, explosively formed projectiles, on his RJ-31. Okay, and killed him, unfortunately. And a whole firefight ensued. It was command detonated. All right, and Bradley's pretty much destroyed a whole building where they suspected where the command wire was, because it led right there. They knew where it was going. Remember, when you're attacked, you always return fire and then communicate, and then develop the situation. So after that happened, we went to Loyalty. We had to reset because we took a casualty. We had to get a new vehicle in there, and then we had to make our way through the IZ and down Route Irish to get to the BIOP so we can get our new vehicles. So we're getting ready. We're getting ready to leave Loyalty, and it was at night. I think it was like 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock at night. We had to get the BIOP, and our master sergeant came up and grabbed, hey, Sergeant Pierce, you want to check this out? And he turned it to the Patriot net, which is one of the nets we were listening to. It was a brigade command net, and you could hear an Apache team that was engaging an IED team on route predators about where this soldier was killed. It was a 3-man IED team, and they were actively, they saw them. They were purposely planting an IED in an attempt to kill more U.S. forces. And so they engaged, killed 2 of them. 1 ran. They tried to get to him. And unfortunately, he ran inside of a building. Okay? They waited by the door for him to come back out. He wouldn't come back out. and they had to disengage from them because they didn't have PID on them. Okay, PID is very, very important. Outside, you can say what you want, but if you don't have PID and you kill an innocent, I say that's murder. Sometimes collateral damage, you can't get away with it. Man, that'd be horrible to go through. But in a point operation, you're tracking someone. You can't just blow up the whole building because you ran in there. Okay, there's no telling who was in that building with them. So they had to disengage and fly back to Taji because they were almost out of fuel. Okay, now that I said that, okay, let's fast forward to 2021 August, Dateline Kabul. Okay, they are following this vehicle all over Kabul. At what point, whoever was calling this intelligence thing, did they ever see a weapon? Did they ever see a load-bearing vehicle? Okay, one of the ways they taught us to look for VBIDs is a vehicle that, back here in Texas, back when I was growing up, we had lowriders. People drive their vehicles, it would be like 3 or 4 inches off the ground. You could tell they were cinched down really, really tight. Or they're carrying a whole lot of equipment. And it's known, when I was in Iraq, that insurgents would put howitzer rounds and explosives and stuff in their vehicle, and the back part of the vehicle would lag down toward the ground because of the suspension. So that's what you look for, okay? A Toyota Corolla, was it lagging? Was it sitting close? Was it low riding? Low rider, okay? That kind of thing, okay? Was it low riding, okay? Did they ever see explosives put in that vehicle? Did they have PID on any explosives, any propellant, any debt, any known insurgent get in that vehicle at all? Who gave that order for that officer to squeeze the trigger on that Reaper to engage and destroy that car? Because I would like to know who did that. And from what I heard on that press conference, there were no expected charges to be filed against the officer that engaged that car. But who told him? I don't care if General McKenzie went out there and said, I accept full responsibility for that act. And, I'm sorry, but when he said, when there was someone asking him about compensation to the relatives of the 10 people that died, I would not send a dime over there, because you know where all that money is going to go to? Well, can you imagine? We're going to deposit $10 million in the Taliban National Bank. No, it ain't. Taliban's going to take that money from them. There's no way they're going to be able to keep that money. The Taliban will not let them keep that money. Matter of fact, they were close to the airport, so chances are the Taliban's already got to the survivors of that family, and probably killed them. Okay, chances are. Call a spade, and I bet that's what happened. Okay, so when General Austin, or Secretary Austin, he's the SecDef, and General Milley, the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, and President Biden, and as Dan Bongino says, Peppermint Patty, that would be Jen Psaki, she's the press secretary for the president, say that this is a justified and a righteous kill. How in the world do you take a Reaper from over the horizon capabilities, okay, take and blow apart a white Toyota Corolla because it was highly suspected that it was carrying munitions to be used in a VBID attack? Oh yeah, okay, and then rewind back to Iraq, okay? Dateline August 2007. Okay, this is our first trip after our Rip Toy. You can ask Jimmy this also. Okay, I hope he's listening to this. So our first independent trip out of the wire, all by ourselves. We just did our RIPTOA. Okay, we just changed hands from the other MIT team, and we were there, and we had to take our first trip to Combat Outpost Callahan. We had to meet up with the 82nd Airborne to get our to meet and our command structure there, and General Ferris, and then Billy Ferris was the Brigadier General. He was a colonel back then. Matter of fact, was he there? He might, yeah, he was still there, but he got shot later on, and he recovered. Okay, he's a tough cookie. So we went to Cop Callahan, and that is okay. So you take, if you're looking at Soldier City, we were at first base. That's where Hope was. Okay, to get to Callahan, we couldn't go down Arrows, so we had to go down Predators. Oh wait, we wasn't at Hope then yet. We were still at Loyalty. So we left Loyalty and we got on Pluto, and we took Pluto northward. And then we cut across, and we did this and we did that, and we ended up at Cop Callahan. Okay, and we had we couldn't believe this. Our XO, his name was back then it was Major Amos. He had to get out of his vehicle, okay, and open up the gate, physically open up the gate, and all of our vehicles go through, and then close the gate for security. Okay, they didn't even have any 82nd guys out there. Unbelievable, but hey, that's how it was sometimes. Okay, just saying. So we go inside, and Cop Callahan was an abandoned shopping mall that the Iraqis didn't use anymore because we pretty much kicked them out of it when we occupied Baghdad. So we turned it into a brigade headquarters. Okay, the Army did. So we had to go back there and do all of our stuff we needed to do, and our colonel wanted to meet his counterpart in the 82nd, so they could see eye to eye on everything that we had to do to train the Iraqi National Police. Because we did National Police first, and then we did Iraqi Army second. So we do all of our stuff. I think we were there about 3 or 4 hours. We ramped up. We did our patrol brief, and we were leaving. Okay. So we're at the gate. Major Amos gets out of the vehicle. He goes over, and let's see. He opened up the gate, and no sooner than he opened up the gate, an RPG screeched over a T-wall, and T-walls are about 10, 12 feet tall, I think it is. Screeched from, let's see, I'm looking at it. The RPG went from right to left, okay? And it went like at that angle, okay, toward an Apache helicopter, AH-64, and missed. And this cat was cool. They fired at an Apache helicopter, but missed. You can say all you want about Josh Ahmadi. These guys, I hate them. They almost took me out. Another story for another day. But they had, that gunner was so brave, he actually thought he could take down an AH-64 Apache helicopter. Okay? He missed. They packed up and bolted. He did a Bob mission, bolt out of blue. Poof, gone. Okay? It was a trip. So, but, get back to the story. He was in a white cargo van. A mini white cargo van. Okay? How many, of all the people watching this, please comment on this. Whenever you were on a combat patrol, how many white cargo vans did you see driving around Baghdad? How many white Mercedes did you see driving around Baghdad? How many Toyota Corollas did you see driving around Baghdad? There's so many you can't shake a stick at. Because there's so many of them. Same thing in Afghanistan. White Nissan, white Toyotas, white vans, all over. They get white because it's so hot here, it reflects the heat back off of it. Duh. Come on. So you're telling me that they have hard evidence that a white Toyota Corolla was going to blow up, and they took it out. So tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Tell me if I'm wrong. A white Toyota Corolla was going to blow up, and we took out a white Corolla, okay, and killed 10 innocent people. So if there was a white Toyota Corolla that was going to blow up, where is that one that was going to blow up? Tell me that. Because if ISIS-K was determined to kill Americans, after we blew up that innocent white Toyota Corolla, they could have done a secondary attack and took us out. And they didn't. Not one single V-bid blew up after we took out that white Corolla and killed those innocent people. So where was that? Who gave them that intelligence? Are we fooling ourselves? Did we just want to do an attack just to prove we can do it over the horizon attack, and we murdered people? You can look at it as murder because they sure didn't follow no rules of engagement. Nobody's being held accountable. General McKenzie accepted responsibility. He should have taken the stars off his collar and said, I retire. I resign right now because I was instrumental in the death of 10 innocent people. They didn't need to die. Where was the vehicle that was supposed to blow up? There was never any evidence of another vehicle out there that was going to be blown up and kill Americans. I would like to see that evidence. If I was Jim Jordan and Kevin McCarthy and Dan Crenshaw in Congress, you know what? I would insist. The part doing a classified setting, I don't care. They need to know where this intelligence came from and where that vehicle is. Because if it doesn't happen, it's going to do it again. And Slick Willie, oh no, he's not Slick Willie. He's Forgetful Biden. Okay, Forgetful Joe. This is crazy. This is crazy. The Democrats are getting away with murdering people, and they're taking away our freedom of speech, and they want to tax us to death and give all of our money away to the Democrats and their friends at the expense of all the hard-working Americans in our country. Every one of them. All these wealthy Democrats. George Soros, he needs to go back to his native Hungary and take all of his money back there. Or the other part would throw him in jail for sedition. What he does, he funds every one of these campaigns and gets Democrats elected again because these Democrats that are in power are so rich. They're so rich that we can't even run against them because they throw money at it. They throw money at a wall and it sticks. The Republican throws money at a wall and it falls off because we don't have enough. I would like to see a serious inquiry about what happened in Afghanistan. A serious one. Those people should not have died. If they would have died in the result of a combat action, I could accept that. But they're the only thing that happened was a stupid drone 20,000 feet up, launched a Hellfire missile, and blew up and killed 10 people. That ain't no combat action. That's an assassination. And if you don't like it, don't tune in anymore. Because I'm going to tell you what's right. I'm a conservative. I'm a soldier. I did this junk for 25 years of my life. And I might have just been signal, but I've been places, I've done things that I know. I know. So don't play no games with me, you stupid Democrats. Because all you're doing is playing a game and you're warping the mentality of the people around you. Now, I got one more subject I want to talk about. Our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Okay? He's a special advisor to the President of the United States. He doesn't command a corps. He doesn't command an army. He doesn't command an air wing. He doesn't control a squad. He doesn't command nothing. He's a special advisor to the President of the United States. He has no command authority. And, you may see him on the chain of command. I think they just need to nix all that stuff. He is not in command authority at all. And the senior enlisted advisor to the chairman, he may be in the NCO support channel, never cross a sergeant major or any E9. I tell you that right now. But they work for the president. They work for the chairman, and the chairman works for the president and the SecDef. Okay, no command authority. So I tell you what, from what I heard the other day, he better be singing like a bird, because the Uniform Code of Military Justice, he needs to look out for these following articles, okay? Article 88, Article 94, Article 133, and then Article 134. Okay, I tell you right now, Article 134, that was a scare tactic we used in the Army that our soldiers used to screw up all the time. That's the general purpose article. If anything, you want the Article 15 so on, you can go for them with that. Okay? That's the general purpose. You Snuffy sneezes wrong, dude, I told you not to do that. Give him a field grade or a company grade Article 15 and send him on his way. It's not that simple. You wouldn't. Hopefully, you wouldn't do that. Man, about to sneeze. Okay, so Article 88. Article 88, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, contempt toward officials. Any commissioned officer, it's 01 to 010. An 01 is a second lieutenant. So you got second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant colonel. That's an 05. Colonel, brigadier general, major general, lieutenant general, and then general. 010, okay? General Milley is an 010, 4-star general. Any commissioned officer who uses contemptuous words against the president, the vice president, Congress, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of a military department, and it goes on through Homeland Security, governor, legislature of any state, commonwealth, or possession in which he is on duty or present, shall be punished as a court-martial may direct. That's at the discretion of the person that's in charge of them. Okay? You, as a commissioned officer, out of those 10 ranks, you're a commissioned officer. You are not allowed to talk about any member of those bodies which I just said at all. The court-martial offense. You don't like President Trump, and you made it known you didn't like him during the transition, you are guilty, man. You need to resign and leave. But there's more. Okay, so next one. Article 94. Let me turn the page here. Article 94. Mutiny or sedition. Any person subject to this chapter who, with intent to usurp or override lawful military authority, refuses in concert with any person or to obey orders or otherwise do his duty or creates any violence or disturbance is guilty of mutiny. With intent to cause the overthrow of or destruction of lawful civil authority, creates in concert with any other person revolt, violence, or disturbance with guilty of sedition. Okay. What were those 2 phone calls to China? Where does he have the right, without the direct knowledge of the SecDef or the President of the United States, to conduct any type of foreign policy with a foreign adversary? I'll warn you if we are about to attack you. Where in the Constitution of the United States does a military person have the authority to call a civilian leader and conduct foreign policy? He is not in any chain. That is the Sec State, which is Mike Pompeo. That's the UN ambassador. That's the President of the United States. That's the Vice President of the United States, or any civilian dignitary that the President appoints. You have no authority at all to do that. Okay, what's the other one? Oh, Article 133 is the other one I wanted to read real quick. And I know we're just a little bit over time. Article 133, conduct unbecoming an officer and a gentleman. Any commissioned officer, cadet, or midshipman, let's go back to the service academies, who is convicted of conduct unbecoming an officer and a gentleman shall be punished by court-martial. Short, straight, to the point. Was this guy acting like a field grade, a general grade military officer? He was out. Why was he talking to the Speaker of the House? Why? About the nuclear football? You know, why was he talking to the people in the NMCC about missile alert drills? It's not in his authority. That's the commander of the NMCC's job, is to make sure his officers are ready in case there's a missile alert. Man, he needs to go. He needs to go now, before he does something in conjunction with the Democrats to establish oh man, I can't remember now. Okay, a single form of government, overturn our Constitution. This guy is guilty as sin, as the phrase goes. So I hope some politician, but you know what? Since he's an advisor to the president probably just say, hey, go ahead and resign. You're getting too, man, I'm so worked up right now. It's unbelievable. But so the president would probably be the one to have to recommend a court-martial on him, because who else is going to be able to? He's in command, well, to the SecDef and to the president. But I can't remember what that phrase was. But I don't think they'll probably just tell him to resign, okay, and retire. I think he needs to take his stars off, throw him down, like, I'm done, I'm out. Okay, he needs to be held accountable. I don't know if Congress has any authority on that, since he is a political appointee. Not political appointee, a military appointee. He has to be confirmed by the Senate. But you have Democrats in charge of the House, and you got a tie in the Senate. So, you know, who's going to do what in that instance, right? So I covered a lot. I hope y'all were listening. I'm sorry I went over my time that I usually do, 33 minutes and stuff, okay? So, hey, this is James, JP8 Report. I catch you on the flip side. I am out.